Well, hello everyone, and welcome to the virtual Cobalt Cafe. It's week number 271 of our virtual series. Glad to have you with us. My name is Rick Lupert, the host of the event. Good to see classic Cobalt friends and a bunch of new people who are destined to become classic Cobalt friends. So if it's your first time here, welcome. Glad to have you. If you've been here before, thanks for coming back. I'm glad we didn't scare you away. Speaking of scary, look at this little hand. All right, that's Halloween element number one. Enjoy. We're gonna do a bunch of things today. We don't have a featured reader today. The Valley Contemporary Poets were scheduled to have one. They didn't provide me with one, and so it's all open reading tonight, which is a delight, I'll have to say. If you would like to participate in tonight's open reading, all you have to do, if you haven't already, is send me a message in the chat and I will add you to the list. As always, it's two poems maximum in the open reading. Less is more is our suggested time limit. And those are the important things I have to tell you about that. We've randomized the list. And as I mentioned earlier, Sean Mahoney will be up first. Anyone who shows up before the event starts, I randomize those names. Anyone who shows up after we start gets added to the end of the list. Everyone gets to read. There you go. We do have a one drink minimum here at the Cobalt. Speaking of scary things, tonight is mezcal night. As I rotate through my tequilas and mezcal, the mezcal has showed up as having its turn for tonight. So I'm not sure what that means, but it could mean something. Finally, you should have the chat room open. It's available for you to interact with each other throughout the festivities since everyone is muted otherwise. And I believe that's everything I need to tell you before we get going. So I'd like to ask before we get going if there are any questions. Ooh, I saw Martin's hand first. Go ahead, Martin.
Good evening, Rick. I was just wondering, have you ever walked a labyrinth?
Sorry. I'm trying to remember if I've walked a labyrinth or I just remember watching the film The Shining and somehow internalized that. I'm not sure.
No problem.
Okay. Well, there you go. Thank you, Martin. Good question. Cathabella, I saw your hand. You have a question as well. Go ahead.
Okay, how can we be thankful, or what can we be thankful for at this point in the way the world is?
I guess we could be thankful that the baseball game last night didn't go 19 innings. Um, because my cutoff for being awake, and I don't even really care about sports, but it felt like I should watch this. It's a Los Angeles team. I'm awake, and it's gone. By the time I realized it was happening, it was already in the 12th inning. I thought, okay, I'll turn this on. But midnight is my cutoff for those kinds of things. And thankfully, the game ended right then, and I could move on with the not baseball things.
That's very funny. Very funny. I just wrote a poem yesterday about how when people came to our house for a renku, some of us know what a renku is. They just go on and on writing haiku. And it was 4 a.m., and Rick and I were listening from our bedroom while everybody else was still going on in the rest of the house.
Well, that is a lot of good information that we can think about, etc. So thank you so much, Cathabella.
It was
Great to hear.
crazy.
Yeah. All right. Well, any other questions before we get going? Doesn't look like it. Okay. Well, we're going to get going. On deck, our second reader will be Denise Dumars. Please welcome our first reader, Mr. Sean Mahoney. Hello, Sean.
Hello, Rick. Hello, everyone. So, Mr. Lupert, did you by chance swallow the worm, sir, from that bottle of mezcal?
I had my mezcal dewormed before
You
they,
can do that. Oh my God, somebody lied to me.
yeah, yeah, there's a special sieve that you do it at the store, Total Wine, then you come
Oh, I
home
thought you had a
worm
little
free.
person tied onto a string and you like fished him into the bottle. They went down there, retrieved the worm, brought it back out for you to dine on. I'm sorry.
Little
I'm
people don't
tired.
need that. You know what I'm saying? They've got enough trouble. So I'm not going to put that burden on them.
Fair enough. I have one poem for you tonight. This is something new. It's called Pyrography. And if you don't know what pyrography is, it's wood burning, basically. Pyrography. It has been said that life itself is about nothing more than leaving something behind. Legacy, I suppose. A monument of one's work, a scar of one's spirit, a desert stretching beyond what an eye can detect hidden with bones and hope, pleasure and promise, an island of toys. If our play is what we leave behind in our wake as we depart, as we shrivel and wither within the whirl of color in our wake, as we wake to a reality of what many simply describe as emptiness, then we rise also, for waking is an action with gesture, neurons firing, synapse crackling in our collective digits as if extending a finger to ring a doorbell, enter a PIN code, electronically sign one's life through a screen of manipulated imagery. Me as a newborn, me at 2, 5, at 10, 11, and 16. Me, the boy who said no to the parent, to the professor and employers. The boy who stole lemonade and Playboy, who lit fires and crushed amphibians, who walked into an unlocked bathroom and saw the girl from down the street sitting on the toilet, and we were both so stricken that no dialogue emerged from the stilled air. Our pupils, forced to spill millions of secrets long before the jump drive existed, long before data could be sold and stolen, long before you told her no, this relationship is not working. We can serenade yesterday with songs of love and despair. We can structure our lives to blunt the ugly legacies of our activity, waste life trying to prolong our days rather than use our time. Still, no misdeeds will erase the table in Ontario, an ecology garden by the Great Lake with my waking words graved onto its flats. Thank you.
Thank you, Sean. Thank you so much for being here, for opening up the open reading. Your mustache is coming in nicely.
I can't wait to get rid of it.
I've left mine
It's just a
downstairs, but
prop for a
maybe I'll go
video
get
thing.
it before the end of the evening. Sean, thank you again for being here. Round of applause for Sean Mahoney.
Cheers. Thank you.
On deck is Julian Matthews. Please welcome now Denise Dumars. Hello, Denise.
Hi, good evening, everybody. I have two. I have a humorous quick anecdote about mezcal. I went to a bar in Tijuana a few years ago and where they had flights of mezcal with different flavors. And about an hour later, I was at dinner and I realized I couldn't feel my legs. So just word to the wise on that. Okay, the first one is 3 meditations on the color green. Green. Nobody can be called by this word today. Now everyone is born jaded. Little green men. They'd be agents of Mother Nature, not Martians, and we'd be right to be afraid. Verdigris. Cleopatra used crushed malachite for eyeshadow. Had she known about verdigris, she would not have needed the asp. And this one is a little more seasonal. It's called October Apocalypto. The blossoms are red and the cat is white, but ashes darken his fur. What do they say of cats after dark? A deep gray purple has boiled the sky. It's a time of pumpkin spice death, a gas mask and a hazmat suit. My mother wakes and cannot breathe. The EMT truck is as red as hibiscus. Have you any pumpkin spice pan de muertos? Do the teeth of the dead still gnash? Will the white cat hide at the edge of the forest, sit in the rib cage of the girl still listed on the milk carton as missing? Everybody is outside, garage doors open. It's much too hot to stay indoors here in the suburbs. Stars with orange contrails blaze the sky. But we are too busy fighting fires to teach the children about Samhain as the last harvest crisps white ash. But that does not mean we do not harvest what we can. They speak of high prices and extinction. What will Halloween be without chocolate? Is there to be no avocado for the chips? Enjoy the wine while we still have it. Skin cancer killed my mother's white cat. Thank you.
Wow, Denise, great poems tonight. Thank you so much. By the way, I started and finished watching Train to Busan. You've muted yourself, so you can't respond to me appropriately.
What did you think?
I enjoyed it. It was
Good.
it was a good addition to the zombie film genre.
I thought so too. Very good. Great. Glad you
Yeah.
saw it.
Thanks for the tip on that one. Glad I finally got to watch that. People give me assignments here in the Cobalt. Watch Korean zombie films. Okay, whatever it is that you need me to do, I'll take care of it eventually and get back to you in a future Cobalt Poets. Thank you, Denise, so much. Round of applause for Denise Dumars. On deck, Ted Burke. Please welcome now Julian Matthews. Hello, Julian.
Hi. Um, see whether I can share this. Can you see that?
We
The
can see
murmuration.
a window like with files in it. Is that what you want us to see?
Oh, you can see the video?
No, we see a like a Finder window, a file browser with a what looks like a link to a video or a video file, but not the video itself.
Oh, okay. The murmuration speaks. Sometimes I think of you as a murmuration, as if communicating in an undocumented, undecipherable, untranslatable language. Wingtip, wingtip to wingtip, you shapeshift clearly, moving to a rhythm, a syncopation all your own, taking form briefly, then unforming, shapeless yet shapeful, drawing me in like rereading a sacred text. Again and again, pausing in mid-verse, humming in mid-air, awaiting the epiphany. It's there, just on the lip tip of consciousness. I cannot reach out to embrace or even touch you as if you're a feathery dream, a constantly improvising choreography, a stereoscopic suration stippling. So I step back to get the big picture, but you are orbital, unpinnable, suspended in time and space, aloft, ascending and descending, defying definition, ever moving, as if I'm chasing the chased and you're in a haste to telepathically deliver a thought, a message, maybe even a warning. You humans are not the world. You squabble and squirm, twist and turn, you squawk, fling dirt, build walls on your little patches of earth. Sometimes you swallow each other whole, swiftly ignoring boundaries that are real. You puff up chests and beliefs that you are stardust, even divinely endowed starlets. But you are merely starlings among many other starlings. You're not evolution's darlings. You have sunk so low, surviving on ever needy prayers, self serving schemes, and borrowed wings. You think you're alone in an infinite blue sky, unable to grasp that you have no monopoly on meaning. You get caught up in claw and dagger dramas in search of your own cavernous shadow dioramas. You tweet on Sama, yet cannot live bersama Sama. You're not a stinging swarm, and these are not the killing fields. You are a living hive, and every being deserves a little honey, some healing. You're not here to be deniers and callous deceivers, but warm-blooded weavers. You are all the flock, so please don't mock. Unwind with the wind, sync up and link up, pattern find and be ever kind. Be the murmuration, creating and making, exchanging and holding space in between. Learn from this whirling, churning of being seen and unseeing, giving and receiving. Be the fearless voice, the fearless force, unviable to hawks, swooping and swirling, staging authentic spectacles unseen on any screen, then humbly exit, not in a whisper, nor the murmur of frightened doves, but the collective, rapturous, fading sighs of love, love, love. Thank you.
Julian, thank you so much for that beautiful piece that you brought to us. Sorry the video didn't work out. I'm just going to assume that it was fantastic, but your work on its own gets us to that level. So well done. Round of applause for Julian Matthews. On deck, Deellen. Please welcome now Ted Burke. Welcome back, Ted.
Hey everybody, my name's Ted, and thanks for having an open reading tonight. Glad to see everybody here. I can read two this evening. One is called Apartment Life. Excuse me. Perfectly fine and tied in a tether of dead quiet in a small room where we've acknowledged a rift with rehearsed dictions. Our fictions drive us crazy. You're building set models for stage productions. I type paragraphs regarding glaciers and grime. We've seen how the sofa divides the room like halves of the same brain that stops sharing what it knows. Not a stick is touched. There's not a dry glass in the house. Everything is old again, is wrong again. During sleepless and set, during sleepless and stale sadness, I hear the witless irony. A branch breaks off from a tree outside, crashes to the patio, giving way at the lightest caress of incidental wind. The goddamn thing just gave out and into dreams that I come to think that there's nothing wrong. Women are bitches, and I shake with fever. Thinking of you, I sleep for hours under a flashlight moon. And one more. That was a breakup poem, and I was mourning the loss of someone I loved dearly. This one's called Machine Head. Which was adapted by a composer in 2022, Libby Larson, for a sequence of songs that she had a world premiere for at the Aspen Music Festival. And so I have a new title. I'm a librettist, not just this guy on the street, but the credit I got in the program was librettist Ted Burke, which made me feel important for about a day. And then it was time to go home and drive back to San Diego. Machine Head. The hippest machines of our day do not think about dealing with the likes of us. Once someone invents batteries that never run down, free from plugs in the walls of homes that keep them predictable and safe for the family to view, the hippest machines of the day will never define time as something that you had to do something with, something that you had to kill, something that you had to spin or while away until the afternoon of waiting is done and time is filled again, as it were. A can, a can or a box hungry for stuff that machines manufacture or make obsolete. Machines of gratuitous good looks just sit there wherever they happen to be and look pretty as they purr, utility and logic of design, disguised by gleam that addresses the flesh and blood need for a pretty face that means nothing and stands for less. All my machines are plugged in, of course, and they reek of English leather, and they contemplate major leaps in technology, invention before the need arises, genius in bathroom stalls, machines that go on and do everything under the sun that never seemed to need doing before until someone builds a machine, a goddamn machine, to do anything or nothing at all. Yeah, that's perfection. The hippest machines on my block solicit my opinions for no good reason to know because of yearning in their programming to have some bites removed and munched on, chewed over, mulled over, gnawed like the doubt that tags at the end of the best wishes that you could muster at the end of the letters you write, as you when you remember to something like what comes after when you ask why. All the bad watering in the world circles around my heart when I realize that you're not here, that I'm talking to answering machines that tell me that everything is all right, except where you are and why aren't we in love anymore like we used to be. My new machines know all the sounds, all the rhythms of my bad habits, and they are powerless to match. Thank you.
Ted, thank you very much. Always great to have you here. Sorry you had to go through a breakup, probably many in your life, but glad they led to poems and you being in this place with us today. Thanks for being here. Round of applause for Ted Burke. I think it's time for another something. My wife crocheted that. On deck, Martin Parker. Please welcome now Deellen. Hello, Deellen.
Rick, thank you for having me. I have two pieces here for you tonight, and even though they were written 19 years apart, they're companion pieces in a way. One is from a evening when I was with a friend at the King Club and a trip down memory lane to the Frolic Room. And the second piece, which was written just weeks ago, has to do with that same friend and wondering where they're at. So the first one is titled 6349 Hollywood Boulevard, and it's in memory of Fay Ray and King Kong. We are walking down Hollywood Boulevard, past the sex shops, the dive bars, the Scientologists, walking among the stars, people whose names we cannot recall, people whose names are legends. Fay, it would make you sad to see Hollywood today, all that glamour down the gutter, the stench of homeless urine in every darkened doorway. It seems they give stars to anyone now, even Vanna White. And any ugly punk kid can waste his 15 minutes of fame in a car chase, a drive-by shooting, a drug deal gone wrong. A deranged housewife can attain instant celebrity by stabbing her abusive spouse. And it takes a lot more than a girl with backbone and a scream that can save her life to get by these days. I would like to tell you that life in LA is still a dream, but it's not. This city is a third world country within a state that is corrupt, and no one is allowed to have an original thought. The studios have already remade King Kong twice since your version, adding Technicolor and digital sound while sucking the very life from your drama. They have downsized that poor 50-foot beast into a Happy Meal toy for kids, forgetting that the definition of animation means to give a soul to something. Faye, you're probably asking yourself why we can't leave well enough alone. Let a classic be just that. But then you know that all the answers that ever made any sense were lost in phantom shadows long ago. And the second piece, it was an untitled poem for a while. It was called Working Title Poem for a while. Now it's called The Urge to Find You Again. They say it is fall, but here on the West Coast, my AC still runs 24/7, and I must water the yard every day. Oh, I would love to see those colors, the red, gold, and bronze of autumn, those last leaves clinging to branches as the season deepens. Most here say they prefer the seasonless palms, a hazy sky consistent with iconic view. But I long for a change. The east wind beckons, makes me wish I were there with you, bundled in sweaters and boots, walking briskly to a small cafe. I should like to see a sky blown a crisp blue, with 1,000 geese migrating the vastness like a storm, and long to share your New York nights, the cold air swirling in my lungs, the way saxophone notes hang between the words of a song. I would like a bartender to shake us a cocktail while we share a joke, a story, or perhaps whisper secrets, then taxi home together and wake up lovers, changed forever by that touch, like the season falling. Thank you.
Dylan, thank you very much for being here, for letting us get lost in your phantom shadows, as it were. Good to hear your work again. Thanks for coming back. Round of applause for Dylan.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. On deck, Carrie Cox, please welcome now Martin Parker. Hello, Martin.
Hello again, Rick. I've got a couple of pieces here tonight. First one is called Labyrinth. I travel round this world of words, discovering structures few would find, inventing phrases no one's heard, inhabiting corridors in my mind. I burrow deep until I'm lost in tunnels where the air is thin, not knowing how to manage the cost of finding paths that let light in. Not sure that one's finished yet, but we'll see if it goes any further eventually. And then this is something a little different. Thinking of the holiday coming up, one of my few pieces of what might be called flash fiction. It's actually based on real events and only slightly fictionalized. This is called The Haunted Halloween Townhouse. I've never been a huge fan of Halloween or spooky ghost stories like my twin cousin born 6 days after me who fell out of the top bunk laughing after scaring me with one. I never really liked watching horror films like Friday the 13th either. But for some reason, I do like spooky music. So one Halloween night, which happened to be on a Friday, when my parents left me alone in their townhouse, probably to go to a square dance like the one where they met, with a big bowl of candy to hand out to any kids who might come by, I pulled out some of my favorite spooky music by the likes of Pink Floyd, Bob Dylan, and yes, even Herb Alpert. I left the front door open and settled in to wait for the doorbell to ring. It never did. I thought, maybe there aren't as many kids in this neighborhood as my parents thought. Eventually, I heard the sound of their car pulling into the communal parking lot. And apparently, as my mother walked to the door, she spotted our next door neighbor standing just inside her own open door and asked her how many kids came by. Someone down the way was playing this loud, spooky music and scared them all away, she complained. When I heard that, I quickly turned the stereo off, put away the records, and pretended not to have a clue when my parents asked me about it. And that's how I inadvertently became the creator of the legend of the haunted Halloween townhouse. Or maybe that really only exists at all in the depths of my own mind. Thank you very much,
Martin,
everyone.
thank you for your timely piece. I'm so sorry people didn't show up so you could give them candy. That's very frustrating. We live on a hill in our house, and we get the people from across the street, but no one likes to walk up and down the hill. And I give out good candy.
Need to spread out the word, I guess. Yeah, I enjoyed some good music that evening.
Sure. Thank you for being here, Martin Parker. Round of applause for Martin Parker. On deck, Beverly, please welcome now Carrie Cox. Hello, Carrie.
Hello. Um, so on the crazy cocktail train, you guys are talking about the worm. I gotta one up you. I just was in Alaska earlier this month, last month, and I was in Homer, and I heard about a sourdough cocktail. Have you guys heard of this? It's from Dawson City is where it's served, and it came from 1973. Found an old miner's mummified toe, and so they put it in this cocktail. So you can go there and have it and become part of the sourdough cocktail club. So it's a shot of whiskey, usually Yukon Jack, and a mummified human toe. And the best part is to join the sourdough cocktail club, you must take the oath. You can drink it fast, you can drink it slow, but your lips must touch that gnarly toe. And so now people donate their toes if they have to get them cut off for any reason. And they pickle people's toes because sometimes stuff happens to the toe. They don't have the original 1973 toe. Anyway, better than a mezcal worm. The sourdough cocktail. Look it up. Okay, my first poem is called, finished writing this about 3 minutes before we started here. So it's fresh. It's called A Genie Never Says Please. But here I come running start again. But here I come running, flying fur from skin like a Catholic running from sin. Barked at, the moon laughs twice each night, the last out of pleasure, first out of fright. Bonfire blessings on a hallowed dark eve. I blame my best breaths on forgetting to breathe. A lake is an eye, a lens, a dome, and you are a snake, a snowflake, a storm coming home. Accidents lie about how much you care. The better the intentions, the best to beware. Save me a savior that doesn't eat bread, turn children to wine, to wet old men's blood. I wasn't joking any of the times I said I was afraid, shaking like a demon, crying like an inmate freed, wrist scars that barely fade. Now we grant each other pardons, 3 for every crime, and waste our remaining wishes, praying for another way to crack the code of time. Garish is why the wind chimes kick each other into song, how the spines we thought might entwine in a story we made up as we go along. Okay. Phew. And then I was inspired by uh Sean pyro pyro what was it? Pyro poem. So I have a poem called Pyrogen. And a pyrogen is usually it's a substance, usually a bacteria that makes you have a fever, so it makes you get hot from the inside. So I have a poem called Pyrogen. I'm gonna read it because I was inspired by Sean. I've got a fever. It tastes like metal, like a boy as rough as metal. I've got a fever now. My head is swimming, face is flushed. You are a clown face bobbing in the corner like a helium balloon. I'm understated, misunderstood. I'm dreaming of crows fluttering below the floorboards and Ouija boards and the way your mom sings when she cooks. I might not make it. This has happened before. As a baby, the nuns packed my tiny body in ice for a fever of 105. They said I might not make it. Or the time my mother put me in a bathtub full of cold water for the fever in my 8-year-old body that just wouldn't break. I dreamt of snakes that time, 100 feet long, bright green, thick as tree trunks, swaying in a chlorine pool deeper than time. Fever dreams that you never can forget. But the worst part is how you can't get warm despite the raging heat inside your own body, boiling the blood, sneaking seizures into your heart and head, quakes like November, an age-old avalanche. But I'm barefoot. Like the time I ran away from the hospital, shots of penicillin saved me from selling my soul that time in the abortion clinic when a fever sent me home with my delicate condition intact, racked with flu and shaking through the night. I've got some sickness in the story, some stolid nighttime trial with a jury that I've made of sticks and stones, and the medicine is milked from the silence of the splinters and the strings that hold the heart beating in its place. Quiet is the space around the mercurial messes where the temperature is tattling of the subtle ways we moved. I remember the ugly treasons of state line serpentine seams torn through like green gowns and quarantines, stitched to lessons in triple locked red velvet scenes, slaves to the balcony's beckoned harvest moon extremes. I was ready for cooler seasons, vitamins, living pristine, or something less obscene. But now, just fever, vertigo, symptoms of sticky screams, old forest remedies, witchcraft, voodoo, ancient songs around a fire, a face I've never seen next to yours. As I make my exit, skin on fire, palms clean. Thank you.
I see that you have the Aurora Borealis behind you, Carrie. Did you see that when you were in Dawson City, Canada or Alaska?
No, and I even smuggled acid in my curling iron because I wanted to take LSD and see the Northern Lights, but it never happened. I'm so disappointed. So that's still on the bucket list, man.
I'm so glad that statement is now part of the permanent video record
Oops,
of
sorry,
Cobalt
YouTube.
Poets. Carrie, I
Come
don't know if
after
you know
me.
this, but I wrote a whole book of poems in Alaska, and right here on this page, um, there's a whole story about visiting Dawson City
Oh my
and
gosh.
the Sourdough Cafe. On top of which, the woman whose family used to run the cafe was a guest on my publication party. She was working at the Jack London House. I don't know if you went there when you were in Dawson City, and she was
I
telling us
didn't
all
go to
about
Dawson City. I just went to Homer. But
Oh,
I but I've been to Ketchikan. I lived in Fairbanks for a month. I've been to Anchorage. I've been around.
Well, Dawson City is a good place to visit, and you might as well go there and decide whether or not you're going to drink the toe. I loved the part in your story when you were talking, when you were explaining the toe, and you said if they have to get their toe cut off for any reason, just like let that lie there. Like, sure, there's so many reasons why you might, so no need to get into what they might be. Just if that happens, keep the toe club in mind and send your toe there.
Well, I won't go into story, but there was called cutoffmyfeet.com, and if you know, you know.
I'm not sure I want to know, but thank you. Carrie, thank you so much for being here. And
That's your assignment, right?
I'll
I'm gonna send you
consider
a
it.
link.
I'll consider. Please do. All right. Round of applause for Carrie Cox, everyone. All right. On deck is Melody Anderson Bromitis. Please welcome now Beverly. Hello, Beverly.
Hi there, everybody. I'm desperately looking around to see if I have any poems at all with toes in them, but I'm afraid I don't. So I'm gonna start with something that might take us down a lighter road for a minute. This poem is called I Was Looking. I was looking for something to put my faith in, and I thought about using one of the mason jars that my grandmother used to put up vegetables, but I thought that might imply closure. So then I thought about the stoneware jar that sits in the kitchen by the microwave, but I thought that might imply radiation. And although I'm not opposed to glowing, I don't really want to, not right now. And then I thought, well, why don't you put your faith in the white dog? Everybody puts their faith in a big white dog. But I took a closer look at her gum line and decided to try something less alive. That's when I remembered the green rosary with the sterling silver cross and the sterling silver Jesus. And I thought about the summer I carried Jesus everywhere, wrapping him around my neck or 3 times around my wrist while I pretended to smoke. And stood too close to the boy next door, a religious like myself, only older, with beer on his breath and no rosary to tell.
Yes.
Thank you. And the shorter one I'm going to read is actually in the collection that I have coming out this fall. It's called Home. By the time we got there, it was a one-horse farm. The horse himself with one bad eye, and so old, even the youngest child could ride alone and bareback, at least as far as the strawberry hen house, past the rail fence, where the rest of us waited, crouched by the rusted hand pump, taking turns open-mouthed under the cool water, while the horse stood grazing, his bad eye turned to our voices, and the good eye watching the road home. Thank you.
Beverly, thank you. I believe this is your first time here, is that right?
That's right, yeah.
I hope that my antics tonight are not making you think that this was a terrible mistake and that you come back and share more of your poetry with us in upcoming
I'll
weeks. It
be
was
happy
great
to. I wasn't really prepared. A friend of mine uh, has been on this several times and he recommended. So I'm enjoying everyone.
Fantastic. Well, we enjoyed you. I know I did. I hope you come back and share more of your work. Welcome to Cobalt Poets, and thank your friend
Thank you.
for bringing you to us. Round of
Thank
applause
you.
for Beverly, first time here. Uh, says she wasn't prepared, but read 2 fantastic poems, and that's really all you need to do to be prepared to be here. So well done, Beverly. On deck, Cathabella and Chris. Please welcome now Melody Anderson Bromitis. Hello, Melody.
Great. Can you all hear me? No? Okay. Great. Can you hear me now? Okay, great. Thank you so much. Julian invited me because he was attending this group I go to on Wednesday, and this is really exciting. So nice to see you all. I wrote a poem today, and it's called Day of Love. I'm sitting under a sycamore tree. It is you and me. I see the blue sky up above and know it's full of love. Neighbors helping one another, sister, sister, brother, brother. Pull the garbage cans back inside. They're off the street, in the back they hide. I walk away from a job I had. It wasn't great, it wasn't bad. Money, money everywhere. Sometimes I do and sometimes I don't care about. I could shout. Life is slow. I gotta go. Have to show that I care. Money, money everywhere. I'd rather sit in the noonday sun than run away and say I'm done. Jobs are jobs, they're everywhere. Get yourself one where you care. Care about, I could shout. There's a job for me in the square. There's one downtown. They're everywhere. If I could sit under the sycamore tree, I'd be happy there, just you and me. Dogs abound everywhere. 6 2 hours. They're who I care about. I could shout. Life is too short. Sail off from the port. The boss is sweet. She waits for me. I wish she was here under the sycamore tree. It's all computer. Upload this and download that. I'm taking notes, but I'm afraid on top of them sits the cat. I try to do this every day. I can see I'm done. I want to play. Play about, I want to shout. Baby girl, she just turned 5, keeping me excited and alive. Pomegranate tree blooming red, lemons, figs, oranges, the fruit is spread above. Another day of love, oh love. Thank you.
Melody, how fun to read a poem that you wrote just today. Well done. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, that's fun. Great group. I appreciate it.
Where are you reading to us from?
I'm in Vallejo, suburb of San Francisco.
And you have a lovely view, as we can see from your from behind you. So what a lovely spot you find yourself in. Thank you for being here. Welcome to Cobalt Poets. Please come back again and read more for us.
I would love to. I think it's wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Round of applause for Melody Anderson Bermidas, two first-timers here in Cobalt Poets. Great to have you both on deck. Christopher T. George, please welcome now the collab tonight, now configured by Cathabella, Chris Kondo, and Tangled Hair. Hello to all of three of you.
Kazuaki. Oh my goodness, now it's disappeared. Let me see. Here we are. Kazuaki, introduce yourself. He's in Japan. He's in Japan. Yeah. Let me see why this is not showing itself. Here it's coming. Kazuaki is our inspiration. He's our inspiration from Japan. Now I think I have it so it will work. And oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry. Wait, I have to do a little bit of adjusting. I'm sorry. Kazuaki, say hello while I do this, okay?
Okay, hello everybody.
Yeah.
I'm living in Japan. I'm from Japan now.
Yeah.
So thank you for having me here. Allow me here to be here.
Let's
And
see why.
this is
Giving
beautiful.
me a hard time. Wait, sorry.
Yeah.
I have what part of it. Oh, this is it. I'm trying to find the right thing. I have a bunch of wonderful things here. Let's see. Sorry, Rick. I thought I had it right here. Oh, it's hard because I can't check it once we get here. Let me see. Yeah, I can't check what's going on, actually. Wait a minute. This will do it. I think. Why is it not here? Okay, wait a minute now. Okay, I think this is it. Try one more time for a share. Kazuaki has been writing wonderful tanka for us, Rick, as inspiration for our collaborations. And he is in Japan. He built the house that the grandfather of Tonka lived in. And
English Tonka, grandfather of English Tonka.
Grandfather of English Tonka, yes. And so here we go. Hope for that.
Oh, yes. Shall I?
Kazuaki.
Shall I? Oh, thank you. Thank you. October 27, somehow, heart-wrenched today, not for the sleep, falling all day, Kazaki. So fun.
And this is Chris.
Okay. Cliff hanging, the unimaginable sensation of fingers and toes finding safety, if only in a dream.
Please, please.
Simple sunlit fall, yet in my dream it's winter. A storm of dandelion fluff sets off our cuckoo clock.
Beautiful.
Kazuaki.
No feeling better than when on the bottom of the dark, waking up, waning cinder, a relinquished real high, Kazaki.
And this one is Chris.
Post-op, ripples of consciousness. I open my eyes to the warm pressure of my daughter's hand.
So beautiful. I know how you felt. Two friends reunion in the onsen near Mount Fuji. Our matching rainbow toenails make footprints in the sky. That's me and Marco.
Oh, yes.
And this one, skeleton key, found in my dream at the end of the rainbow. It fits into the locked pot. Thank you. And here's Rick.
Oh, I just mumbled on the shakuhachi.
Mumbled?
Yeah, Japanese traditional flute. There are two kinds of shakuhachi, those which are cracked and those which are going to crack. This is the one that's cracked, and that's repaired with rattan binding in a traditional way.
It's waiting for the kintsugi.
It wasn't made with kintsugi.
Could be.
I'll break it again.
Next time, yeah. All right, thank you.
Fantastic, ladies and gentlemen.
This is Kazuaki's first time here. He had no idea what to expect except what we told him.
It was wonderful. Thank you for making this yet an even more international affair here, Cathabella, by the invitation. Thank you.
Thank you,
I'm so sorry. Say the name again. I only see tangled hair.
Oh, my name is Kazuaki. Don't call me
Kazuaki.
Kawasaki. Not motorcycle company, Kawasaki. I'm Kazuaki.
Kazuaki, yeah.
That is good to know. I will not seek you out for my motorcycle needs, which are very few anyway, so it's fine. Kazuaki, welcome to Cobalt Poets. Please come again and share more work with us. Great to have you here and participating.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. With the collab with Chris and Cathabella and with Rick as well. You've arrived on a strange evening, but that's okay. May there be more strange evenings.
We didn't make it strange.
No, you didn't.
No.
You didn't.
No, the rest of the world did.
Do you remember this hand from the beginning, Cathabella?
What was that?
Do you remember this hand from the beginning?
Whoa, wow, no.
You don't?
No.
What's it done?
What was it doing?
What if there was a second one is my point.
It's a mystery.
I was hoping you would say, yes, I remember that hand from the beginning, and it's all I've been thinking about, so I could then show you the second one, but it didn't happen that way.
I've been thinking about toes.
That's I ordered the wrong item, I guess. Kathabella, Chris, Rick, and Kazuaki, thank you so much for being here. Round of applause for tonight's collab. Well done, all of you. Please come back, Kazuaki. On deck, Martina Roblos Gallegos, please welcome now Christopher T. George. Hello, Christopher.
Hello, Rick. I'm going to share a couple of poems related to my birth city of Liverpool. Let's share the screen here. Liverpool was hit very hard in the Second World War, and specifically this is after the German Blitz of May 1941. A lot of the city was leveled, and specifically the Germans were trying to hit the 7 miles of docks that Liverpool has. You can see in the right center the Victoria Memorial, and in the background is the old customs house with the dome blown off. City. This is the battered and broken city. These are its broken dreams. This the broken glass. This the broken brick. This the broken will hiding behind pale skin. This is the wasteland where nothing grows but despair. This is the hand. This is the seed. Plant it. And I entered this in 1984 for an International Garden Festival poetry competition, and it won first prize in the 21 years and over category. This is the Liverpool waterfront, shown as it would have looked in the 19th century. And the church that you see in the middle is St. Nicholas Church, also known as the Sailors' Church. I adapted some writing by Herman Melville, who was a sailor, and of course later on the author of Moby Dick, but he wrote an autobiographical book called Redburn, His First Voyage, after visiting Liverpool. The found poem that I created from Herman Melville's Redburn, His First Voyage, 1849. The dead house at the old church of St. Nicholas, Liverpool. Whenever I passed up Chapel Street, I used to see a crowd gazing through the grim iron grating of the door upon the faces of the drowned within. And once, when the door was opened, I saw a sailor stretched out, stark and stiff, with the sleeve of his frock rolled up and showing his name and date of birth tattooed upon his arm. It was a sight full of suggestions. He seemed his own headstone. Thanks, everyone.
Christopher, I'm still waiting to get the college credit I'm due for paying attention to and enjoying all your historical pieces. Will that be coming soon?
Yeah, I'll lay him on you.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much for being here and giving us some lovely insights into the past.
Okay.
Round of applause for Christopher T. George. On deck, Michael G. Hickey. Please welcome now Martina Robles Gallegos. Hello, Martina.
Hello, thank you. I'll read one and see what happens after that, see how I feel. And it's a revisit. Call me by my name. I earned my name when I survived severe childhood anemia. So call me by my name. I earned my name because I survived hunger pains, so call me by my name. I earned my name because I endured cold nights sleeping under a leaky roof, so call me by my name. Call me by my name because I overcame childhood and adult bullying and discrimination for being poor. I earned my name walking for what felt like miles alone as a kid to make sure Dad got his lunch while working in the cornfields. Call me by my name because I endured migraines as a 9-year-old kid, crying and sitting alone in my kitchen floor while mom took care of other siblings. Call me by my name because I clenched my fists and gritted my teeth when friends stole the few valuables mom had. I earned my name because I didn't quit school when even the teachers ganged up on me like my classmates did. I earned my name because I learned when no one could or wanted to teach me. Call me by my name because when somebody gave me choices, I picked the right ones. Call me by my name because I didn't give in to racism, sexism, ageism, or other forms of destructive societal discrimination. I earned my name because I didn't succumb to, you're going to be a gangbanger, you're going to end up a pregnant teen, you're going to be a high school dropout, you're not college material, your English is too weak to be a teacher. Maybe a writer? You need a strong language background for that too. Have you considered anything else? Maybe a psychologist. Nah, I gave that up after my master's degree. I earned my name after I paid my professional dues as a teacher, but not before everyone used me as a doormat and punching bag. I earned my name when I stood up to teachers from elementary through graduate school and kept facing the same isms and bullshit. Call me by my name because I earned it when fighting for the elusive piece of American dream that became a nightmare I can't seem to wake up from. Call me by my name because I became a teacher to be the opposite of most of my teachers. Call me by my name because I wanted for my students the teacher I wished I'd had and did my best. Call me by my name because I've risen from the ashes more than the damn phoenix. Call me by my name, Martina, the name that brought me back from the depths of death to face the horrors of ignorance and stupidity. Call me by my name, Martina, because it's what I breathe and what runs through my veins and beats in my heart. Call me Martina because it's the only name that walks with me. Call me Martina because it's the name my brain bled for. Ugh. Okay, I'll do a shorter one. Oh, you scare me. Flowers in the meadow. I smell flowers in the meadow, in the middle of the forest. I see creatures in the stream, in the middle of my dreams. I hear babies in the cradle at all hours of the night. I hear music in the kitchen that mom makes with her ladle. Where are all my flowers gone? In the meadows, in the meadow they were grown. I feel like it's like a riddle. I feel like this is like a riddle I have known since I was born. In the meadow lies a grandpa making music with a fiddle. The flowers in my meadow are the soul of every song. Even the tiny songbirds make of the meadow their own home. The flowers of every color are the heaven's guests of honor. Thank you.
Thank you, Martina. Thank you so much for being here and sharing your work with us. I enjoyed the "Call Me by My Name" piece. I think you spoke in that poem about you got to where you are for making the right choices. I'm glad that those choices led you to writing poems and being a participant in our community. Thank you so much for being here tonight. Round of applause for Martina Robles Gallegos. Thank you, Martina. Just a few left. Michael G. Hickey, Ed Potastic, Neil Daswani, and me. If I missed anyone, if anyone else would like to be added, please let me know. On deck is Ed Potastic. Please welcome now Ed, no, not Ed, Michael G. Hickey. Hello, Michael.
Hello, Rick. Hello, everyone. Martina, I love your poetry and I love your name. It's Martina. Martina. It's like martini without the hangover, you know? I'm going to read the only poem I've ever written that changed the trajectory of my life. Carrie Cox, you might remember back in the day, King County here in Seattle would have a poetry bus contest, and you would submit poems of 8 lines or less, and the best would be chosen, and they would be put on buses. And so I got one of my poems on the bus, and I was just starting out with teaching. I just finished grad school, and the teacher who had been there for 20 something years and was a real tough old gal from Brooklyn. She happened to be taking a bus one day and she saw this poem on the bus and she said, "Why aren't you teaching creative writing classes?" And I said, "I didn't know we had creative writing classes." She said, "We don't start them." And so this is how starting the creative writing curriculum at this college is how I got tenured. So here's the poem. And I don't know how much of this you can actually see, but that dog is in an Egyptian museum and it's mummified. It's 200 years old. And I don't know who took that photo, but anyway, here's the poem. And this poem is, I didn't have to make up anything except the last line. It's called "This Dog Shall Pass." I live next to a 7-Eleven. A small dog barks furiously, tied to a chain link fence that separates our properties. The menacing yelps, yipping, and wailing drones on and on. Unable to concentrate, I walk out the back porch to confront the creature's owner and find my 2 cats staring disinterestedly in the opposite direction. I return to my room. That was several years ago, but even today I employ this technique whenever the need arises. Thank you.
That's a really, I mean, the chapbook isn't that big, is it?
No.
And that would be, just turning a page to the next poem feels like an all-day affair.
That's interesting coming from somebody who's the least pirate-looking human being I've ever seen in my life.
I think you're just looking for an excuse to talk about how I look like a pirate now, and it has nothing to do with that being interesting relative to what was just said.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I don't know. Literally, within 8 years, I had created 4 courses, and administration loved it because these were electives; these weren't required courses, so it was like extra tuition money in their pockets.
That's so cool that you have that poem that you can refer to that had that effect on your life, Michael. Whether or not you make 20 more and try to make a giant chapbook, I don't know. That's not up to me, but was glad to hear it and learn that little tidbit.
Thank you,
It's
Rick.
big.
I appreciate you all.
Round of applause for Michael G. Hickey. Thank you for being here, Michael. On deck is Neil Daswani. Please welcome now Ed Potastic. Hello, Ed.
Arg, Jimmy Timbers and ahoy, matey. I have a question to ask you. Why could a little pirate see the movie? Because it was rated ARG. I hope I won't rock the plank. But anyway, hello everyone. My name is Ed Potastic. I'm feeling fantastic. Please, it's time to join my rhyme. Fafo sublime. I have 2 Halloween poems, so I take too much time. I want to tell everyone this other poem is a classic, but it's a homage to slasher films, Mike Myers and Jason Voorhees. So I don't want anyone to be panicking or anything. I'll change my voice. This poem is gonna be called The Mask. Sorry. The Mask Open. I didn't choose the monster, but the monster chose me. This beautiful knife calls my name. I wear the mark of the bloodthirsty beast. I have no humanity or shame. I was a small boy who was ugly. Kids beat me without mercy. Nobody helped me really. I cried unworldly. They threw me into rivers without end. The water went through my mouth and lungs. I yelled help. I didn't have any friends. Oh, the deep salt water suffocated and stung. I found this mask belonging to nowhere. The mask playfully sings. It promised to bear all my worries with care, the start of new beginnings. I put it in my backpack. I pay it no mind. Its words were blissful heart attacks. I was amazed by the signs. After school, the neighborhood bullies chased me. I was a deer in the headlights. Please, leave me alone, please. I couldn't skate with all my might. They held me down. They neatly bruised my stomach and face. Like a mauled clown, my blood and tears smeared with unmerciful grace. They left. Our gargle with sadness and pain. My backpack roared ferocity. It roared words of crimson rain. Alluring me with monstrosity and curiosity. It roared, tomorrow you won't suffer any more sorrow. I smiled with a crooked smile of glee. It said their punishment will be agonizing and slow. Thank you, my angel, who will save me. The day after, there was nothing new. Bullies chased me about in. There were hyenas at the zoo. I heard someone said, put me on, my terrified little friend. I put on my mask. I felt so many screams and whimpers. It happened so fast. Their bodies were completely timber. I took off the mask. They were bloody and lifeless dolls. It completed its task. Wait, was I the cause? I barked up a storm. They were butchered without remorse. The mask made me transform. The mask drifted off course. The next day, I saw a few guys chasing a woman that had snake eyes. She screamed for help throughout the land. Nobody came. Well, I'm not surprised. I followed them into a vacant alleyway. I put on my mask. I watched blood fly bodies decay. It was a start, but it didn't last. I killed them all, me and my crimson hands. I made these beasts fall. My mask. I truly understand. I tried comforting the woman, but she slapped me. She had the same hate as the bullies. I was a monster of her misery. I would help to set her free. I put on the mask, hugged her so close and tight. I just wanted the screams to end. It felt wrong, but it felt so right. I ran covered with blood and perfume, my body nestled away in the darkness. I was showered with light from the moon. I was consumed by demonic animalistic bliss. Oh, hold on real quick. You want to know my name? Here's the hint. Happy Halloween. Killing's my merry, bloody game. Would you be the next prey for my crime scene? All right. I hope everyone. I got one more story from Encore. Sorry. This other one is called The Night of Halloween by Georgina Toflova. Witches and ghosts, scary creatures, black cats silently sneaking behind the trees, so many pumpkins with ominous features. Their fiery eyes are burning your knees. It is a night of horror and terror. Thirsty vampires feasting on innocent blood. Children, watch out. Don't make any errors. Those crow-like claws are so thick with mud. The moon and sky is full, bright and smiling. There are no clouds to hinder her fun. The million stars are gently beguiling. Join us if you dare. Show up, but don't run. Tonight, the thread between the worlds is fine. The souls of the dead cross over for life. This has been like this since old ancient times, a tradition invented by gods ready to strive. People dress up as monsters and mummies, trying to show they don't fear the dark. They don't understand they're nothing but dummies. A single wrong move, and they are just stiff and stark. The shadows out there have been waiting to revel. Their sinister wails, ruthlessly chill to the bone. Come out and simply dance with the devil, or you may not see your mundane sins ever atoned. All hail Eve is just like no other. Heaven is not trying to prevail over hell. Demons and angels are walking like brothers, as if someone has put them under a spell. Giving out candy will not hold them back. They keep flaming, thus turning gloom into sheen. When morning comes, there won't be even a track, but never mind. Enjoy the night of Halloween. Thank you.
Thank you, Ed, for being here, for the special effects, for the voices. The budget for that must be out of control. I appreciate you putting all that,
It's
uh,
monstrous.
yes, all that into it. Ed will be our featured reader next week. We'll see what he does. Thank you so much, Ed. Glad to have you part of the fold. Looking forward to next week, and thanks for being here. Round of applause for Ed. Potastic. On deck is me to close out the open reading. Please welcome now Neil Daswani. Hello, Neil.
Thanks, Rick, and thank you for the warm welcome and giving me a spot. I have two short ones. The first one is titled Just Saying. And before I get into that, I should say thank you to Julian Matthews for kind of enrolling me to Cobalt, and hopefully this won't be the first and only time. So the poem is titled Just Saying. Just saying. Dear William, thanks for your scrawl. You hit all the right notes. This scrawl will probably outlive both of us. I'm sure you thought that was sweet of you, so please forgive my tartness of tone. I just came across your scribble on foolscap, which had floated to the floor and lay upside down beneath the kitchen table. It is now 4 in the afternoon, and the plums were meant, no, not for breakfast, for the cobbler I was planning to serve for dessert tonight. Our guests are due at 6. I'm sure that someday soon, somebody somewhere will invent a fridge magnet, which will hold up aide-memoirs and such like. Or maybe even invent magnets with words and letters on them that you can use for writing poems, plastering them all over the refrigerator for posterity. But for now, if you know what's good for you, you'd best get over to the grocery store and buy me a bag full of plums. Victorian, please. Or you shall have no pie. Just saying. So that's with 1,000 pardons to obviously William Carlos Williams, one of my favorite poets. And that was an imaginary poem written by his wife Florence, if she were to write such poetry. Okay, the next one I'm going to read is a Halloween poem titled Something Perturbing About Pumpkins. We all get mushy when it comes to pumpkins. Bright orange lanterns, all clones of Jack, smiling. Their glow an antidote against the ghosts and ghouls who stalk the night and walk amongst us. Tonight, the boundaries will blur between the other world and ours. But what if? What if pumpkins were double agents, plotting plans in their pumpkin patch, rousing to the gleam of will-o'-wisps, their enticing signals from across the peat bogs, their cursed leader, Jack the Stingy, banished from heaven and barred from hell, inciting the pumpkins to spring up with their toothy grimaces. When all the lights on this liminal night have been switched off, both indoors and out on the porch, when the threshold is all dark, when there are no lights, save pumpkin flame. At that midnight hour, have you ever wondered why jack-o'-lanterns have yellowed eyes, triangular and upside down? Whatever else you do, never, ever, never, ever put your finger through that serrated, gap-toothed grin. Thank you.
Neil, I certainly hope this won't be the last time you're here. I'm so pleased you've enrolled, as you said, in Cobalt. I wasn't even aware we had such an infrastructure, but now I have to check the files and send you a certificate or, get your name in the system somehow. But I'm glad to do it because your poems are fantastic and you definitely need to come back and take the next class, as it were. We do this every week. I hope to see you again.
Thank you, sir.
Round of applause for Neil Daswani. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you very much to Julian for sending Neil our way as well. I'm going to close out the open reading with two poems. These are poems I haven't read before. There's a local press here in Southern California called Moontide Press, and several years ago they released a Halloween-themed anthology called Dark Ink. And they decided they're doing it again. And although it's not out in time for Halloween, they're shooting for January, I think. The sequel is called Darker Ink. And the two poems I'm going to read for you were both written specifically to submit to this publication, and in fact will appear in it in the spirit of the week. This one is called The Blob. The blob started out so cute, like a smooth tribble oozing around the living room. Everyone wanted one, but then it got hungry, and soon the cat was missing, and then the horse. The neighbors complained, but soon were sucked into its mass, which was nice at first, the street so quiet, until it got too big for the house, for all the houses really, and they were flattened piles of sticky wood, and occasionally you could see into a basement. So that's where Mr. Siegel has been keeping my lawnmower. I can see his head sticking out of the blob, so tiny now, considering what a big mouth he had. It's as big as the whole block now. The Blob. Is that its Christian name, the Blob? Or is that just what we call it? And among its fellow blobs, this one is known as Phil. If we called it Phil, would we have a chance? Has this whole thing been a terrible misunderstanding? It's as big as the block now. I guess we don't have to worry about buying blob food now that it's all grown up and on its own. Time to leave the neighborhood, the city, the state. I'm hoping if we cross the ocean, things can get back to normal. Sorry, Canada. You knew with us as your neighbor, something like this was bound to happen. And this next one, also never read before, and will appear in the forthcoming anthology Darker Ink, is called Colleagues. Nosferatu and the Invisible Man walk into a bar. No one notices one of them. The Invisible Man is looking for invisible women, but may need to settle for someone he can see. Nosferatu orders nothing because it's not that kind of bar, but drunk on a recent conquest, he's a bit chatty and complains about how Prime Video colorized him. Have they no respect? We didn't have the color red until I was 800 years old. The two have a mutual respect. The Invisible Man likes that you can't see Nosferatu in the mirror, and that's all he wants to talk about. They got that wrong in the film, Nosferatu says. You can clearly see my reflection in that one scene. Hollywood is so ridiculous. They get into the argument over whether flight or invisibility is the better power to have. Nosferatu is for flying because that's what he can do, and he espouses the freedom it gives him. The Invisible Man, invisibility is his whole thing, insists being invisible isn't just for perverts. Nosferatu changes the subject, but to what? I have no idea. The Invisible Man heads into the gender-neutral bathroom. When in Rome, he says, invisibly. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here on this special all open mic edition of Cobalt Poets. Great to have so many people here. Thanks to all of our open readers, Sean, Denise, Julian, Ted, Deellen, Martin, Carrie, Cox, Beverly, Melody, Cathabella, Chris, and Kazuaki, Christopher T. George, Martina, Michael, G. Hickey, Ed, Neil. Thanks to all of you for being here. Really wonderful to have so many new people here tonight as well, especially in a night when we don't have a featured reader, where sometimes the attendance on those nights can be smaller. We had a really nice crowd tonight, and it was a really fantastic open reading. We'll be back next week with Ed Potastic as our featured reader. If you're new here, as several of you are, please head to the Cobalt Poets website, poetrysuperhighway.com/Cobalt, where you can click on email list and add your email, and you'll receive an email every or twice a week letting you know who the featured reader is. It contains a Zoom link so you don't lose track of it for the upcoming reading. You can also see the calendar of who's reading here in upcoming weeks. As I mentioned, Ed will be here next week as our featured reader, and we're scheduled through the end of the year. That is it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for being here. I'm going to click on the Ask All to Unmute button, and let's see what happens.
Hello.
Thank you, everyone.
I want toes, not fingers. I want toes, not fingers. Give me your toes. I want toes. Go there.
It's been so fun, Rick. Thank you. I enjoyed your I don't know how you do that. You know, I'm not a tech person, so I don't know how you do all these things with the screens and all that. It was so much fun though. Thank you. Thank you for having us.
It was great. Thank you, guys.
Thanks for being here, Dion.
It was
Thanks, everybody.
I didn't get to
Thank
show
you,
anyone the
everybody.
clown.
Great evening.
Yeah, thank
It was
you, Rick.
fun.
I put a couple links in the chat if anybody wants to see more of Neil and Mai's work in print. Improvs in Black and White features both of us.
Thanks, Martin.
Great time.